All right, Yarok Field in Historic. Historic, for those that have been paying attention, is the non-rotating format on Magic Arena. There are currently no cards banned in it. And it encompasses all of the sets that are legal on Magic Arena. So this is a kind of updated iteration of the deck that I played pre-rotation. We had a good run with it last time, and let's go ahead and play some games again here today and see how it feels today. I think this deck, unlike the Golos Field deck that was more popular in Standard, it doesn't go over the top quite as hard as Golos Field does, but it's better against decks that are trying to get under it. So in my experience, this Yarok Field deck is much more reasonable against aggressive decks than Golos Field tended to be. Hey, Windowhead, thanks for the tip. Hope you have an excellent Thursday wherever you are. Happy Thanksgiving to you too. Yes, fine. I think Oko's probably fine in Historic. I think Once Upon a Time and Veil of Summer should probably be banned. At a bare minimum, I hope they ban Veil of Summer. I think in general, Oko's probably fine. Drew our second Black Sorcerer, which is great. Huh? I'll do this and pass. What do you think viewer numbers usually look like on Thanksgiving? I don't know. I don't like to make up answers to questions that have objective measurements, so I don't know what to expect for Thanksgiving numbers. Is the answer. Questing Beast and Rekindling Phoenix. Brutal. Let's hoping they miss on a land for a turn. They miss on the untapped lands here, we're in a good spot. Missing. Them missing for a turn gives us an incredible amount of breathing room here. So they're going to be able to kill Yarok next turn. But this should give us a bunch of Field of the Dead triggers, which should get us over the hump. Yep. Opponent concurs. Pioneer is good. We played some good games of Magic. I think Disfigure is actually not good enough here. I know I killed an elf that game, which was pretty okay, but in general, I think that's not something we're looking to do. I usually like boarding out a land against most matchups. Usually cut Blast Zone or Field of Ruin or Arc, depending on which of your lands has the least utility. Cast Down, Noxious Grasp, Trophy all sound pretty good here. Just Thought Erasure as my cut. It's probably just Thought Erasure. Just want more cards that play to the board. Hey, Fox, thank you for the very generous tier 3 resub and for the 8 months at that. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Would I rather have Disfigure than Risen Reef? Maybe I'd rather have Disfigure than Risen Reef. It kills Zerta. It's a combat trick. Let's try it. Let's try this. It's basically be green black field splash Yarok. Yeah, where's my borderless Grazer, Watsy? When? Yeah, I'm gonna keep this. This is hopefully a green source. Perfect. So actually, because I drew Forest, I'm going to Once Upon a Time now, because I could find this guy. If I hadn't drawn an untapped green source there, I would just play Dismal Backwater tapped and pass. But because I found the untapped green source, it's right to Once Upon a Time to dig for the Grazer. Yeah, Neil Brand is great, Fox. 10 out of 10. I like that deck a lot. It's one of my favorites. You did not waffle. We had other people cut up above it. So we need some green sources here so we can get to Cavalier eventually. Yep. Yeah, I believe my next historic day after today is gonna be Tuesday next week. I have my approximate schedule for next week up on the website now. So taking a second forest feels kind of bad because it means I need 8 lands before Field of the Dead does anything, but I do really need to work towards getting my second, or my 3 green sources into play here. Yes, in general, you want higher land counts in Arboreal Grazer decks. And like, if they draw a brick here, Cavalier next turn will probably be lights out. Yeah, I don't think they can beat this card. Yeah, they just can't beat the Yarok. Yeah, Yarok. The fact that Yarok helps you stabilize against aggressive decks while also generating value against decks where you want value is just so great. That was match 1, Waterfalls, so not much at all. Just beat Groll to start. Imagine if it was Panharmonicon though. Yep, just did. If this deck is playable in this format, this will probably be the deck that I work on for any competitive events that pop up. I just love the type of Magic that this deck plays. Reasonably interactive. Has a good hard for other people to go over the top of you. Has big sweet plays. I'm surprised that this is a display name that's allowed. That's it's kind of not okay. Yeah, I don't think you can report anything in client. Nah, there's really not a good way, there's really not an objective way to measure stuff like that, Willie. I'm gonna play Dismal Backwater here, so that way I can go Arc Murderous Rider next turn. Dinosaur, okay. You have my attention. Think this deck is playable in Pioneer? No, probably not. I think being more linear is probably more profitable in that format. O3s are busted, chat, for anybody that's wondering. What I really wish is that O3s were borderless. Can I please, for the love of God, get a borderless Grazer? All I want for Christmas is a borderless Grazer, Watsy. Borderless Grazer, borderless Elvish Rejuvenator. Is that all this deck? Oh, I've got strokes in the sideboard too. I guess if this gets an untapped land, I could have Risen Reef tier too. It won't let you throw more money. I know, right? I don't understand why they hate my money, chat. My money spends just as good as everybody else's money. Fabled Passage was a solid upgrade for this deck. I agree. A couple of those are great. It's garbage time. You don't have to go home, but you can't play here. Do 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 do. We have not played Historic Citadel yet. I had someone cheer to add it today though, so it'll probably be up sometime next week. On mobile, there should be a Stream Decker button just under the video player. You can click that and it'll pull the deck list up. I think it's 2 or 3. I don't recall. So you'll need to reference the deck list. Every Historic playable card needs a borderless option because formats like Historic are where people are going to be extra excited to borderless their cards. So in my opinion, it's a really big miss when cards in this format don't have a borderless option available. I think I might have too many removal spells in my sideboard. I guess like trimming Risen Reef here is probably fine. So it's pretty reasonable. You basically trim Nexus against every non-control, non-mid-range deck when you're playing this deck. The one of Nexus of Fate is just for the few matchups that go extra long where you risk decking yourself due to Cavalier triggers. Bump Historic Citadel sounds good impromptu. Will do. Pretty easy mulligan here. No early plays, missing black mana, so can't play the Rider even if we could draw it. This hand is very, very good. The question is, what do I bottom here? I think it's just Arc. I want to keep all my colors. This is pretty likely to find me another untapped land. Huh. Second Reef. Greed. Greed. Yeah, Grazer's to block. Let's greed a little bit. That's pretty good. Gonna play this out as an extra blocker. 27 lands later. We only bottomed one land on that once upon a time too, right? I assume this is dead, since they didn't make a play here. Really? Okay. Deal. Fair. Harsh, but fair. Still missing second black for that one. Maybe I'm supposed to just play this now to play around Veil of Summer. I really hope they ban that card in this format. Not having to deal with that card in Standard and not having to deal with that card in Standard and Pioneer is refreshing. They're like getting pretty close to Ghalta mana, right? Ghalta costs 3 less, 6 less. They're 1 off of Ghalta mana. Alright, well, if they don't take either of these out of play here, the second Risen Reef next turn is going to be absurd, and we hit the second black for Rider, so that's great. This attack is weird. Getting a little punish here for not playing a third Grazer. They're going to get to reveal 1 card off the top of their deck here, and if it's a dino, they put it into play. So the survey says. Good high roll. Good high roll. They see me rolling. They hating. All right, come on. Four triggers. Let's trigger Field of the Dead, huh? Need to find two lands I don't already have. I think they attacked with the 2/4 to discourage me from blocking this on here. Sick. All right. Scry me a river. Anything that's not a land we don't have yet is going to the bottom here. Okay, well now I actually have a decision, right? So double Rejuvenator, if it finds 2 lands that I don't already have, I think I actually just Rejuvenator, right? I lose super hard to like a Flame Sweep. Outside of Flame Sweep, I like this line. If we don't get Flame Swept, this line wins the game really hard. Yeah, we're super likely to get lands, for sure. I think I actually want more black sources. I'm just going to bottom non-black sources here. If they have a way to clear my zombies, we die, most likely. But if they don't have a way to clear my zombies, we're in a great spot. Even like Ghalta's here isn't that big of a deal. We have 16 powers worth of zomboys and girls, and Yarok gains 3 when it blocks. And then like I get to untap and like have triple removal. Overblocking this by a bunch, so that way, if they can kill 1 or 2 of them, they don't get a trigger. I'm about to get cleaved, aren't we? Okay, well, you know. Well, shoot. Mother of God. They have Flame Sweep again? Gross. So punish for not blocking the Regisaur. And like, I'm actually like this turn went like as bad as, like these turns went as bad as they possibly could have for us. And we're like still in this game, right? In fact, depending on what their cards in hand are, I think we're ahead. Because like, I have a Fabled Passage here, which is like gonna get 2 more zombies here in a second. So like, yeah. When your deck just does everything you possibly want it to do and your opponent just dumpsters you anyways. This was like a super impressive showing for our deck. I like took a risky line and then it backfired and then we just like plowed through them anyways. Do 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 do. Was it good? Was it a good series? Pretty good series for us. I like when the deck of the day picks itself out easily. Hey, thanks for the generous tier 2, Crazy Duck. After 11 months at that, welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Pretty easy breeding pool here. Just shock this in, play Grazer, play Breeding Pool, or Overgrown Tomb. I hope they ban this card. This card and Veil are, that would be my starting historic ban list request is Once Upon a Time Veil. I really hope they leave Oko legal in this format because I think it feels kind of reasonable so far in my experience, but Once and Veil can both just like GTFO. Alright, this hits a green source, we're just like off to the races. Rats, never lucky. Andrium, thank you for the 13 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. That's a good one. To be fair, when they banned Field, this deck wasn't playable. So like, this archetype wasn't playable in this archetype isn't playable in a format where Golos Field is the best deck. But like, in a format where Golos Field is not the best deck, this deck's very reasonable. So let's do this. I think I take Field of the Dead here, right? Because I have Temple of Mystery. And then I'm going to go ahead. I don't expect this opponent to have utility land, so I'm going to go ahead and Field of Ruin them off this Woodland Cemetery. I get to grab a second black source here, because I already have third green, second blue in my hand. Sick. In. Happy Thanksgiving to you too, Dumping Truck. All right, so I just do this and then play Field of the Dead? I think so. And the next turn we can double up this. Look at the little baby Carnage Tyrant. I just take this hit. This might be greedy. That might be wrong. Be it like double lightning struck from here, I'm gonna be real sad. Alright, no double lightning strike, got it? Okay, so let me rephrase and state my opinion so it's well received. I said banning Veil was weird, and I agree with that. At the time, what was going on in that format, banning only Veil didn't do anything. The green devotion decks and like the Once Upon a Time, like banning Veil was weird because it didn't actually fundamentally address the issues with green in the format. So I stand by my assessment that banning Veil wasn't enough. I think banning Veil is fine because it's a pretty offensive card design. For the same reason that I think banning Once Upon a Time is good, just because it's a very offensive card design. I'd prefer it just not exist. Veil and Once Upon a Time are both in this category where it's just like, Magic would be a better game if they just weren't there. Still don't like how susceptible this deck is to ego. You mean not at all? So like, they ego us and we still have Yarok and Cavaliers to kill them with, and plenty of other things. You can kill them with Murderous Rider. You're just a Sultai control deck at that point, which is like more than fine. Like if you go back and watch my time playing this deck through Standard, we won through egos constantly. You just like have other threats in your deck. Maybe I should have played this on one. It's a good hit. Huh? Think I just take Field of the Dead? And then I'm doing this, even though this is tapped this turn, because this is going to fetch a basic, which will let my third land come into play untapped, which is ideal. So this is going to grab a forest, which then lets Woodland Cemetery come into play untapped, so I can Murderous Rider this Rotting Regisaur. I agree. I think this deck survives Ego better than... I agree with that assessment, Branch. I think it survives Ego better than any of the other field decks that do. This is worse against second Questing Beast, better against Veil of Summer. I didn't let them discard a card because I'm worried about Veil of Summer. We're just dead, right? Yeah, just too slow on the drop. Because I need more green sources to generate double spell turns, Silpharian. And I didn't really need the Drowned Catacomb to come into play untapped. That's a very good start for the opponent. Our start was a little bit slow, no Grazer. And like we had no Grazer, no removal spell on 2. And they had must answer threat on 3, 4, 5, 6 there. Oh, while beating us down with their 2-drop. Trophy, while a good efficient removal spell, is like not one you really want to play on turn 2. Because, like, especially when you're on the draw, because accelerating them when you're on the draw feels extra bad. Although that Dino was accelerating them anyways, so maybe I should have. Like I said, it's possible I should have just played Fabled Passage on 1 that game and, like, gotten Swamp. If I would have gotten Swamp with Fabled Passage on 1, I could have trophied on 2 and then Murderous Rider on 3. And perhaps that would have been ideal. Game plays out different if I sequence my mana differently. The land sequencing with this deck has a lot of depth to it. A lot of decision trees. Fabled Passage even adds another layer to that onion that we didn't have when this deck was standard legal. Gobble, gobble, dumpster. Grazer's just hanging out over here in the ugly corner all by himself. It really does, Pelly. And like, because the lands in this deck are often double as spells, it gets even closer in that perspective. Do you have a black source? Dead to Veil. All right. So you're saying there's a chance. Take a chance on me. Do 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 do. Think I lead on Yarok here. Think I lead on Yarok. Like this is probably game ending next turn. If we hit 2 untapped lands here, I get to play Risen Reef after too. Do I have an Overgrown Tomb already? I do not. We're gonna gamble a little bit and try to hit another untapped land here. Well, you know, gambled and lost, but at Field of the Dead, so, you know, I'm gonna call it a wash. And, like, even if they have a way to sweep the zombies at this point, my health total's high enough that, like, I have time to recover, and this deck, like, recovers from zombies being swept instantaneously, especially with Yarok in play. Sure. I'm just not gonna block with Yarok. There's no reason to. Moving on up the ladder. Might not be a percentage gamer all day. Making some zombies on the ladder. Do 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 do. Yeah, this deck's great. There are 3 historic decks up on my website already. This is one of them. This is one of them for a reason. I'm gonna take Rejuvenator. That's probably fine. This finds a forest, then this likely finds another forest. Hey, Mr. Silicon, thanks for the 35 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. So I'm actually going to shock this in. And the reason for this is this way, if this does not find a green source, I can still cast Cavalier next turn off of this. Okey-doke. You guys been on Soul type, mid-range, and historic yet? I've not dropped a single. We played his Soul type mid-range Tuesday on stream, and it felt very reasonable. Food package is pretty good. Yep, that's good. So I am gonna get to start triggering Field of the Dead next turn, so that's nice. I'm gonna go ahead and chump block here, just gain 5. Let's start with this to see what we get to scry into here. I get to play Murderous Rider, or I could just do that. You just do that? Do I want to do that? I think I want to do that. Hold on to the Murderous Rider in case they have a questing beast. Do 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 do. Man, a lot of these games have not felt fair, chat. Number of these, some of them have been close, but a lot of these have just been like, well, you're dead. Well, you're dead. This is like my green sideboard plan, I think. It's like these removal spells in, Field of Ruin out, Thought Erasure out, 1 Risen Reef out, Disfigure out. True love couldn't beat Field. True love went out to the field to die. Yarok plays 4D chess against the checkers of the opponent. Yep. This is a mulligan. Just doesn't do anything. Super slow. Too many 5-drops. Yeah, this is fine. I'm gonna bottom a castle for now. Well, our curve is like the Stone Cold Nutter Butters here. It's like turn 1 Grazer, turn 2 Rejuvenator, turn 3 Cavalier. And again, like, this is why Once Upon a Time should not be legal. Like, these green decks just get to do their thing just more consistently than everything else. That's just, like, not okay. Kinda wishing I'd kept the castle. Yeah, I really hope they add Kaladesh and Almond Kept blocks in too. I think that would be sick. Would thoroughly enjoy that personally. We've been to Cavalier here too, so if they have a way to kill this without exiling it, we get another Cavalier next turn. Yeah, Chalky, the last year's worth of standard cards is incredibly powerful. If you look at the number of cards from last year that are seeing play in literally every Magic format, like, it is not a small number. I agree that Once Upon a Time is a flavorful card that probably accomplished what they wanted it to accomplish, but it's just incredibly boring from a gameplay and deck building perspective. Like, the game theory optimal way to build with Once Upon a Time is you build your deck and then you cut the 2 worst spells and 2 lands and you add 4 Once Upon a Time basically all of the time. It makes all of your decks effectively, it makes every deck you play a 56 card deck during deck building, and it's just not interesting. I think I just pass here. I mean, to be fair, high-powered formats are good. Playing with powerful Magic cards is fun. So I don't think the takes that people have had that, like, high-powered formats are bad. I think those are bad takes. Yikes. All right. Might be dead here. Kind of sputtered out here. I guess. Love-Struck Beast and Tristani anti-synergy. Yeah, that's a good thing to point out. Let's try and kill this and see where we go. Sure. I'm taking 3, 9, 10, gaining 2, taking 8 here. Sounds fine. Why didn't I block the Love-Struck Beast? Because I'm dumb? I didn't block the Love-Struck Beast because I'm dumb. Don't ask me where I went between blockers and the... Because in my... What happened there was, in my head, the Lovestruck Beast was dying to my removal spell, and then it didn't die, and I didn't readjust my play after it didn't die. That's what happened there. It was still a mistake, but I'm explaining how my mistake was able to occur. My brain did a stupid. Are we dead? I assume we're dead. If we're at +2 life, would we be alive? Maybe. So I block like this. I'm taking 10 and I'm going to 10, so I have to block here. End up at 2. Yeah, this deck's been really good. We're getting a little beat up in this game, but this is game 2 and we're up a game in the match, so... Have to take game 3 on the play. Sometimes you get through half your deck without seeing a Field of the Dead. If we'd have seen a Field of the Dead game and made a couple of zombies, their 1/1s would have not been a big deal. It's just how it goes. I think I'm happy with how we're sideboarded here. I'm gonna run it back. Oh, you know what? We've been playing this all day and I've been sideboarding with it. I think the list on my website actually concluded. I think I updated it on the site and didn't update it in my deck editor. I think I cut the Thought Erasures. Yeah, I totally did. I was just thinking I kind of want some Thrashing Brontodons here. I was like, wait, I thought I had Thrashing Brontodon. I definitely put Thrashing Brontodon in on my website and then didn't update it in my deck editor. I'm so good at this. I'm gonna gamble a little bit and bottom the trophy here. No Disfigure for Adonto? Nah, I don't think so. Adonto's like really not a big deal. Adonto was a big deal that game because we didn't find a Field of the Dead in a reasonable amount of time. This game we'll hopefully find a Field of the Dead before turn 12. Alright, so just like hoping to draw. We want like our next 4 to 5 cards to be lands here. Yeah, we also have 5 6s and 3 5s, exactly correct. Well, that's unfortunate. Then this is gonna miss on a land too, because that's how this works. Ooh, alright. Alrighty. Untapped land next turn would be superb. Let's us Yarok. Untapped land, please. No blocks. Go to... Alright, I'll block that one. Running green sources, please. Even if we miss on a land here, we do get to deploy the Risen Reef, so that's fine. But ideally, we'd like to stick a Yarok here. Gotcha, 0. Gotta get my rifle out. I got some feral hogs over there. Lands. Running lands. Come on, Reef, rise up. Do. Come on. Alright. So you're saying there's a chance. Take a chance on me. Do. I'm gonna gain 4 here, I think. Alright, come on. If we trigger field this turn, this game is over. Come on, land I don't have. Happy Thanksgiving to you too, Just John. Incredibly unlucky, doesn't matter. Incredibly unlucky. Didn't matter. I wanted to try the Thrashing Brontons, right? These people are great. Buy their stuff. These people are wonderful. Happy Thanksgiving, folks. Welcome back. Concede? Nah, brah, it's fine. It's gonna be okay. Take the guaranteed 5th land, take the Yarok. Oh, take the Yarok. Never didn't have it. Our deck's got like 28 lands in it, game 1, so like, I think taking the Yarok there is probably great. I don't know, if they're an aggro deck, their keep was real bad. Y'all ready for some triggers? Well, golly. Good Lord, where are my lands? Alright, that one can stay there. Incredibly unlucky, it didn't matter. Wait, what is this bug? So when I click on a card, it doesn't actually show it going into my deck until I click to remove a card? Is that real? Is that what's currently happening to me? So if I click this, it doesn't actually show it popping up until I click here? What a wonderfully release-ready piece of software. These disfigures may or may not be good. I'm going to err on the side of not for now. I don't know exactly what they're doing. Well, you know. This is where the magic happens. Ain't that the truth? Hey, our 4-card hand is really good, chat. Like, I'd like the record to reflect that our 4-card hand is great. Our hand doesn't suck. It's quite good. Yeah. Yeah, like, if they don't kill Reef, like, we drew the land to, like, cast this Cavalier of Thorns. Remember, chat, you didn't have to mulligan. You got to mulligan. Mulliganing is a privilege. It's not a punishment. Yeah, I think we're just, like, super far ahead. I think they're actually just bind. The second Cavalier of Thorns just, like, dunks them. The 21 months. Boneless, I appreciate that. Nope, no fancy plans here. Just a little short stream this morning. Hang out with the kids this afternoon. How does this deck even lose? Well, in my experience, it doesn't very often. I don't know what this card does. Whenever an equipped creature you control attacks, you draw a card and lose a life. Equipment you control have equipped target knight 0. That's sick. None of those are the Yarok I wanted for Christmas. Or the Murderous Rider. Thanks for the 18 months, Oratog. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Well, that card and no second Field of the Dead might get us into some trouble here. I guess our health total's a little bit high at the moment. We also, like, really wanted to see a Yarok off that once upon a time. Wait, what? If they attack with this, that's great for us. Oh, right. You can't click 3 creatures and then click to block a menace creature, because you have to click one so it can pop up its stupid help text here, and then click them one at a time. What a wonderfully release-ready piece of software. I'm gonna block with a 1/1 here as well, so that way they can't kill one of my things and save their 5/5. Sure. You've killed all of them. Dealerino. Man, where's a Yarok when you need one, chat? That's flying. These have reach. Risen Reef would be a good hit here, too. Man, we're about to die to a stupid... We're about to die to what's it called? The Ember Cleave, aren't we? Just another Blacklands Paragon is not a big deal. They have Cleveland as well. If they have Cleveland and Blacklands Paragon. God's willing, sure. What's in my bin? Oh, there's Yaroks in my bin? Easy game. Gobble, gobble, Freeman. This is still the game where we mulled to 4, by the way, chat. For people that weren't keeping track, this is the game where we started on 4 cards. I've not played a land for the turn, so I'm going to decline and draw this so I can play it out. Untapped. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. I'm going to fetch now because there's only 1 basic left in my deck and I don't want to draw it with Risen Reef. Well then. Well then. I'm gonna make the change. It's on my website now before I forget again. I cut these for thrashing. Is that even right? That might not be right. I don't know. I'd have to play so many games. We boarded this out a bunch, but like having a 2-mana spell game 1 is pretty, like looking at my curve, that Brontodon might not be right. I think I'm gonna leave this for curve purposes. I think I'm happy with the 75 until proven otherwise. I like ending on decks on high notes, so we've only been going for like an hour with Yarok, but we played like 5 matches and didn't lose any of them and climbed our way out of the percentages, so I feel like that was a pretty good set of highlights for this one. If you haven't seen us play this in Historic before, this is one of the many decks you can find up on, well, one of the 3 decks at the moment you can find up on my website. We'll slowly get that fleshed out as we play more Historic. There's another video of it up there. Yeah, easy deck of the day for sure. All right, we are going to take a quick ad break while I get prepped for the next deck. And when we get back, we're going to play some mono white Soul Sisters. So back in a few, folks. Thanks for hanging out there. Hope everyone's having a